Hey, it's Sam from 3D Westman and welcome to the Benchy model series. So before I get started, you might notice that this video is a little bit too wide, and that's because I use an ultra wide monitor. But if you can't see anything, just let me know in the comments down below. But anyways, this project is a little bit more advanced, but it is a great challenge for beginners who are trying to learn Fusion or 3D designing in general. The Benchy model is a 3D model that's used for accuracy tests for 3D printers. So if you're into 3D printing, then you will probably recognize this. And this is the model which you'll obviously be recreating, and this is the result after following this series. And for this lesson, we'll be just creating the body of this the boat. And before I start, our goals for this video is to design your main body of the Benchy, use the tangent, midpoint, and equal constraints, use the offset sketch and plane tool, use the project command, and use the loft command. Alright, so I'm going to start with a brand new file open. I'm just going to go and show the data panel. I'm just going to create a new project, just name it Benchy series, or give it any name that you want. So we have that created, and now let's start designing. So what I want to do for this body, I want to sketch the shape of the bottom of the boat. So I'm going to select this bottom plane right here. It's going to bring this to this plane. So what I'm going to do is create a line, which you click right here, or L for line. I'm just going to place it in space instead of connected to the origin. I'm going to set my dimensions first, which I'm going to go under the document settings and change active units. I'm going to select millimeters. Click OK. Now we're in millimeters. Now I'm just going to dimension this. You can either click up here or click D for dimension. I'm going to set it to 25 millimeters. So I want this line to be in an exact middle of the origin. So what I'm going to do is use the midpoint constraint. So what is this going to do is find the midpoint of this object, which is a line, and the midpoint is somewhere around here. And it's going to bring it to another point and set it right down in the middle, just like that. Now it's right exactly symmetrical in this line. This boat that we're creating is actually symmetrical, and it's really important to have in mind when you're 3D designing things that are symmetrical. It's always a good idea to actually do your sketches in symmetry. So keep that in mind, and it's a good habit to build. So what I'm going to do is create two lines right here and right here, just a slightly angled. I'm going to dimension. I'm going to select this line and the line right down here. It's going to bring up this arc. It's just Fusion asking us the angle between these two objects, which is these lines. And I want to have an angle of 94 degrees. Now it's set to 94 degrees, and I'm going to do the same right here. 94 degrees. And for these lines, I want them to be exactly equal, to have equal length. So what I'm going to do is select the equal constraint and select both lines. And now they're both equal. So whenever I change the length of one line, it's going to change the other. And now what I want to do is create a point up here. I actually want to create 2 points, in fact. So I'm going to go on the create and select point. I'm going to select one right here and another. And what I want to do is to have these points exactly in line right here, horizontal to this, or vertical, should I say. And I'm going to select this horizontal / vertical constraint and this origin point. Now it's going to bring it exactly vertical to the origin point. I'm going to do the same for this. Now they're both set in this vertical line, and they can't move left or right, which is perfect. I'm going to dimension this first point from the origin to be 55 millimeters away, and I want to set this first point and the second point to be 25 millimeters away. Great. Now what I'm going to do is create a circle right here in this first point. Doesn't matter how big, and we're not actually going to dimension the diameter of this circle. We're going to have it on dimension. And what I'm going to do is actually bring this line up just past this circle. And what I want to do is to have this circle right touching these lines. So what I'm going to do is select the tangent constraint. And what it's going to do is going to make the circle just touch the line but not intersected. So if you know what tangency is from mathematics or somewhere else, it will make perfect sense. And you can see how this circle is just touching the line but doesn't actually intersect it, which is perfect, and that's what we want. And what I'm going to do is that I want to get rid of this axis line. So I'm going to click here to trim, and I'm going to select this and this. Great. Now I want to create that pointy arc shape right here. So what I'm going to do is go on the create arc and 3-point arc. I'm going to select this first point. I'm going to select somewhere along the circle, which we can see by the X, which means that we're on exactly the circle. I'm going to select anywhere, and I'm just going to move it up anywhere. It doesn't matter where you set the radius or the shape to the arc to. I'm just going to leave that on purpose. What I want to do is to set them to be equal, just like how we did with the first line. So it's not letting me set equal, so equal constraint right here. Now they're both equal. And what I want to do is to create an arc that flows smoothly and just becomes tangent or just touches this circle. So I'm going to select the tangent constraint again, select this arc and select this circle. And same goes for this. And we have that. So you can see how this arc just moves in transitions smoothly and just touches right here. So now what we want to do is bring this endpoint and just connect it to this line right here that's being tangent with this circle. So what you can do is grab the endpoint and manually move it up if you can, or you can actually use the coincident constraint. What's gonna do is gonna bring this endpoint and connect along with this point of the line right here. It's gonna match up right here. So both points are laying on top of each other, and now they're connected. Now we finally have our sketch, which is the bottom of the boat. And now what we're going to do next is bring a plane right here. So we're going to go under construct and click offset plane. We can click this picture right here. You can see it says the same thing, offset plane. You can either select any part of this sketch or this plane right here, since we did this sketch in the same exact plane. So I'm just going to select this part right here. And I actually want to offset this plane to 37.5 millimeters. Just click OK, and now we're going to create a new sketch on this new plane that we made. So now what we want to do is to have this same exact shape, but we want it bigger. So what we'll have to do is use the project command. So I'm going to go on the create and go project/incline and click project, or you can click P for the shortcut. And what project is going to do is actually going to take these lines down below and project them to the plane that we're working on, which is above right here. So what you can do is imagine there's a flashlight right below here, and of course it's going to create a shadow above this paper plane, and whatever that shadow is, it's whatever projecting on that plane. So project is a very important command to use, and you're going to be using it a lot throughout when you're 3D designing. So now I'm just going to go back right here into the top and start selecting away my geometry that I want to have. So I'm going to click OK. I have it selected. Now we have that all these points to work with. So what I'm going to do is now click offset and select geometry again. Now you can see the red lines it's not supposed to offsetting, it's going out, or you can go inwards or out. But I want to offset this sketch by 15 millimeters, and now I'm going to click OK. And I have that same exact sketch, but now it's bigger, which is what we want. Now we have these two different sketches of the same shape, but one's bigger and one's above. What we want to do is to connect these two to create a solid that transitions from this bottom sketch to the top sketch. So in order to do that, we have to go on the create and click loft. And now it's going to ask us what profiles that we want to loft. So I'm gonna have to select these, and we want to loft along with this. You can select it or not. Now you can see how the loft command actually creates a solid and transitions from one shape of a sketch to another. And then we're going to click OK, and now we have our main body of our Benchy boat. And alright, that's what we have for this video, and in the next video we're going to just keep working away with this main body.